Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
Spock and T'Pring try the new couples exercise, Katra Swapping. Freaky Friday Hi-Jinks ensue. And after some good cop and bad cop, Luan and Number One get to try Enterprise Bingo. And Captain Pike uses radical empathy to make friends with the Rongovians.
Seriously? No way she cooked this? There's no, carbon flakes or anything on it.
I'm so excited.
You actually made a meal?
It's a miracle. It's amazing.
And there's no burn marks? It actually doesn't taste smoky?
It tastes good.
There's no way you made that.
I want to eat it.
How in the hell did that happen? Wait.
I don't know.
What do you want? I got bad news for you. 007 just came in here, Dot 007, and said that he has bingo.
What do you mean?
One of the spots on the card was to make you think you cooked a perfect breakfast and to go in there and somehow do something with the replicator or whatever to make you think that it's perfect.
Someone got Buetler bingo on me?
It looks like it is. Dot, how are you involved in bingo? Because you're part of the crew.
I'm going to kill that dog.
Is anybody else playing bingo on the ship?
Well, I mean...
I honestly, I jump-started the warp drive with the 9-volt.
Oh, you go for that
I've done
one.
that. Yeah, I got that one.
That's a good one to get.
Is that why you giddied up like a bucking bronco for a second? Because you shoved the 9-volt?
It took a second, but it once it caught on, it caught right on.
It lurched forward like a Model T. Even the inertial dampeners didn't keep up with that quick thing.
Well, I know Patrick got a few of them, right, Patrick? Being thrown out of an airlock. That was a fun one.
Aha.
Oh, and you went Commando in that Skant that one time. That was a really good one, too.
Oh, that was good. I didn't know he was playing bingo because he's walking down the corridor going, and I'm free balling. And it's like, what the hell? And this is what's going on. He looks over his shoulder and he goes to pick something up. He goes, I'm a bad girl. Like, sweet girl. So it must have been one of those long shifts that he had. Number One puts in a lot of work. So there's that.
Have you seen the Buetler bingo card? Do you know what's on it?
No, wasn't even aware that we were playing that.
Oh my God. Well, so I'm going to spoil a few things. Sorry, Patrick. Sorry, Rocky. So the Buetler bingo card is so fun. First, you have to put a Tribble in the Klingons' quarters. Be thrown out of an airlock. Patrick did that one. Have sex with an alien. Patrick did that one too. Mind-Meld with a Vulcan. I really want to try this one.
I've done that.
You've done that? You're almost, oh my gosh, you almost have bingo.
You know what's really good is Mind-Meld with a Tribble.
Patrick.
But that's just like mind melding with the captain. There's,
Oh, no.
See, and I was getting ready to give you your kudos because you actually, because of you had a commendation of calming down that Klingon when he found the Tribble under his quarters, under his bed.
That was pretty cool.
Because he freaked out and just tore the room apart, and you were able to calm him down, which was a hard thing to do.
I think that was the time he did 2 bingos at once, because when he did that, he was wearing a Skant Commando. So he got 2 bingos in one section.
And a commendation for it.
Is that a bingo where you get 2 bingos at once?
That should be.
Wait a minute.
Should be.
What if you get that bingo while getting another bingo? Oh, wait a minute. I got an idea.
It's called a dingo.
It's a double bingo.
A dingo ate my baby.
Oh, the one I haven't tried yet that I really want to try is spend an entire night in the holodeck with the Gorn simulation. That's scary. I don't know if I could do that one.
Nobody in the crew's done that.
What's really good is you sneak a crew member into the holodeck, but they don't know it's the holodeck.
I remember that. You did that to me.
You spent an entire day on the starship inside the holodeck, and you had no idea.
And I had no clue.
You did an entire day's worth of work. You solved like 7 mysteries in science, and it was all for nothing.
I thought I was going to get awarded or something, and then it just ended up being a high score.
Holy shit. Is that why I saw you in the hallway? You went, Captain, I just had the most perfect day.
Yes.
It was that day, wasn't it?
It was that day. I was crushed to learn it wasn't real. Oh, but I don't know if this one we've done before. This is the last one on the bingo chart. Put a whoopee cushion on the captain's chair. Captain, have you had that happen to you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but the whoopee cushion sounds like a Tribble, not it doesn't sound like a fart.
Sounds like he's saying on a Tribble.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Tribble cushion?
Are you just happy to see me?
That explains why a dot's been following me for like forever, ever, and trying to beat me to the captain's chair. But I always get there before it. He's trying to get the spot on the card.
Now you know why.
Okay. Well, that explains it. All right. Okay, 007, you're finished. Let me go ahead and get some of my coffee. Okay. What the fuck was that noise? How the hell did you get there so quick? If you heard, he got me that quick. I leaned to get my coffee and he snuck a whoopee cushion in there. Let's just get the fucking show on. Oh, wait, the light's been on too. Yeah, okay.
Geez.
That's like the first bingo card to start the podcast with the light on.
Yeah. I gotta, Rocky, I'm gonna need you to come to my quarters and make this on-air light brighter and more noticeable. Like put it in a freaking ceiling or something so I can always tell when we're pre-broadcasting. Because somebody keeps putting clothes over it so I don't really see it. Okay, and it's not me. So, first off.
Of course it isn't.
If you're under the age of 18, don't listen to us. Just go. Even the Disney Plus channel has parental locks now. So, yeah, don't even do it. If you are under, leave. Don't go.
Don't scar your mind.
No. And if you're someone I just recently told you to listen to the show and you're just easily offended, I'm sorry. This is how we have fun. And the ship, the Buetler, is an amazing ship named after an amazing person. So there's that.
It's not named after me.
It's not named after you. That's correct.
Exactly. It's not.
Yeah, then
I'm an amazing person.
It's named after another amazing person.
If it was named after you, I would have said it was a fabulous ship.
That's insulting.
See, how is it insulting? You're fabulous, aren't you, or aren't you not?
No, you're just trying to play on the gay.
I never did try to play on you.
Oh, ooh la la.
Not like that, you moron.
Wow. Somebody's knickers is in a bunch this morning.
I'm not wearing knickers.
He's a gay man, but he's a grumpy gay man.
I'm not wearing knickers.
He did get thrown out in an airlock, so,
true.
that would make anyone grumpy.
We beamed him back.
Yeah.
007, in order to make up for the fact that you whoopied me for your bingo card and stop laughing like R2-D2, take Patrick breakfast for me.
No.
Yes. You don't want breakfast?
Not if it was the breakfast that they cooked for Heather.
No, a new breakfast.
You mean the one that actually tasted good?
Because that's just a hologram.
It was a light breakfast. It was a holodeck breakfast.
Oh,
it was a light breakfast.
I'll have his breakfast. Give me his breakfast.
All right.
That actually tasted good. I'll have his breakfast.
007, go to Patrick's quarters, take his meal order, and provide him good food. Yeah, take it from the top tier, from the one we reserve for important VIPs that come on board.
Yeah, with extra sausage.
Yes, you can use the unlock code. Okay. Would that help? Number one? Okay, good. That's Patrick's way of saying yes. All right. We are being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon users and, Patreon members. And also,
users.
We are brought to you here by all of our customers.
It's now fans only.
It's only fans.
Oh, my God. Yeah, we can talk about that one later for OnlyFans. Because, you got it.
That shows you how often I go to that website.
Good.
He got his breakfast.
Yeah, I heard it. Nice. Okay. 007 did a good job despite the freaking whoopee cushion. We're going to go ahead and get ready to get this party started. And we're going to get this party started quickly.
Right?
The first thing I'm going to ask is that we have any corrections, and don't talk with your mouth full.
Well, if it was you, it wouldn't be full over it. And no, we are absolutely clear. No corrections.
We're once again a flawless show. And since we've been gone, shit happens. Because shit happens, we talk about it. And we talk about it in our news section. So let's see what our science officer has found between shows here.
So my news article for this week was from Screen Rant. Go check it out. We have a link in the show notes below. And Screen Rant made a list of Star Trek series rated by Rotten Tomato. So can you guys guess what the number one highest rated series for Star Trek is?
Strange New Worlds.
You got that. It's Strange New Worlds at 98%. Can you guys guess what the lowest one is, or what the one with the lowest percentage?
Enterprise.
Yes! Because fuck that motherfucker.
But the Start to Enterprise was good.
No.
Don't validate Heather's hatred.
I know, right? That's not cool. Don't be a hater.
Not at all.
Okay, so starting from 1 going to 11, Strange New Worlds is at the top, followed by the animated series, then Prodigy, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Picard, Discovery, Lower Decks, Original Series, Voyager, and Enterprise.
I'm surprised.
They put Lower Decks that low?
I'm surprised the Lower Decks was that low, and that DS9 wasn't higher, and that Picard wasn't higher.
Well, 1 through 5 to Deep Space Nine and higher is 91% and higher. Picard to Original Series was all in the 80%. So Picard was 86, Discovery was 86, Lower Decks 83, which I think some people just get offended.
Yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at, so that's good.
Those are the people that aren't listening to our podcast. Yeah. Original Series is 80, and then Voyager was 76, which surprised me. Wow. And then Enterprise is 55.
Wow.
Well, that surprised me most of those numbers are pretty good, and at least Enterprise broke the curve a little.
That's true.
So that's really good. Was that a battery in the warp core again?
Rocky?
What?
It was Heather's vibrator.
She didn't get the note to turn that off before the show starts?
Apparently not.
All right, let's get started. And that's for your test tubes, right? Your agitator for your test tubes, Heather?
I want to answer, but I'm trying to mute the noise over here.
You have to turn it off first.
Okay.
And
they do have off buttons.
We only did Heather's news.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Okay, because she says she was trying to mute the agitator for the. Never mind. Number one, do you have something for us?
I do actually. So Wrath of Khan, the the seminal, not seminal, but seminal Star Trek movie could have been very different and could have actually ruined the franchise if Gene Roddenberry had gotten his way, because what he wanted to do initially was have the Enterprise go back into the past and somehow undo their own future, which would then require them to go back to 1963 to set the timeline right by assassinating John F. Kennedy. And Spock would be the one to on the grassy knoll.
Oh,
yeah, that was not have been a good idea. It would have tanked it for certain.
So the executives at Paramount were like, Gene, you're high, bitch. Sit down.
Yeah, he was doing that bag of drugs from the first episode of the second season of The Boys.
You do have to wonder about the reasons behind Gene Roddenberry doing the motion picture, the first one, and then not being super involved with the next following films.
Well, it's funny because the motion picture is so universally panned, but I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I'm not a movie critic.
It's great.
So,
yeah.
I mean, they considered it too slow.
But they were amazed at how good it did, and then they gave it
it made buttloads of money, but and
they made a second movie, and they were like, actually, that made pretty good money too. And then they made a third one because that's also making some money. I mean, they were making lots of money with these movies.
Yeah, but I love the fact that how they did a switcheroo. If you want to talk about the Wrath of Khan being so good, is that rumor got out by Roddenberry that they were going to kill Spock because Leonard Nimoy says, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Ooh. And it got out and people went ape shit. There was protests.
And then he actually died at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. No, but what they did, which I thought was kind of ingenious about it.
Oh my God. Rocky, you just ruined it for me.
You have to see the third one because they bring it back in the third one. Oh, spoiler alert.
what they did is that Roddenberry put it out that they was going to kill Spock. There was death threats. People wanted to shoot the directors and anybody who was writing on it. And so they just kind of says, okay, well, I give the writer really clever for what he did. He goes, okay, we'll take care of it. So they did the movie, and they had Spock die in the beginning of the movie but it was a simulation on the bridge. And then people who went to the movie goes, oh, okay, well, that's the death. It's no big thing.
They're like, oh, okay, yeah, not a big deal.
And then he actually fucking died at the end.
A simulation on the bridge?
Yeah,
that little simulation they had.
The Kobayashi Maru simulation.
Maru, when everyone dies, and then it's like, okay, that's where Spock died.
Oh my God, that puts a whole other layer to that joke.
It does.
He's like,
and then what happened?
He's like, wait a minute.
And then during the filming of it, Leonard Nimoy says, you know what? I think I may not want to be dead. I'm really having more fun than I thought I would, basically. No. So he says, well, what can you do? And he says, you know what? I'll just let's leave a little loophole here. I'm going to put my hands on McCoy's face and say something mysterious.
I'm going to put my hands in his loophole.
Whoa. Yeah, remember. And that was the opening. If the film did well, that was an opening for him to come back as Spock. And if it didn't, he's forever dead. So just a little history behind Wrath of Khan. Okay. Thank you, Heather and number one. Rocky, what do you have?
Well, small world here. I'm speaking also on the movie Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. It's the 40th anniversary. Actually, literally the day we're recording this is the 40th anniversary of the release of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And I remember it so well because I was a little kid on a bicycle that I didn't have any money and I couldn't go see it in theater. But I heard people verify at the end that somebody died at the end. And I was like, fuck! Ruined my summer. But when I eventually saw it, when it came out on when it came out on videotape, no, actually we had to wait for it to come on HBO or Showtime or whatever it was and record it on videotape so I could see it. It's a 6-hour mode with the wrong speed recorded, so it was a really shitty copy. But anyway, that's my history.
And FYI, the Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan 40th Anniversary Edition Director's Cut will be in theaters September 4th, 5th, and 6th.
You're stealing my story, sir. I have a 3-part to this whole thing, and that's part of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's not a problem because you're right. They're bringing the movie out in the theaters again, and they've done this before, and it's really cool to see on the big screen. September 4th, 5th, and 8th, Fathom Events. They're going to have a whole bunch of screenings, fathomevents.com. But there's other things going on because Paramount is calling this the Summer of Sweet Revenge. And you guys know revenge is a dish best served cold, which is ice cream. Revenge is ice cream.
Yes, it is because it's sweet.
So they've paired out with a wonderful combination. Is it Cool Haas? It's an ice cream maker that makes ice cream sandwiches, and they're doing Wrath of Pecan ice cream sandwiches.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. So this apparently they're doing this right as we're recording this in New York City. They have an actual truck that's branded to sell this ice cream, and it's in New York right now selling out ice cream sandwiches. That's fucking awesome. And what's going to be more awesome is if you miss the event in New York to find the ice cream truck and chase it down, it's going to be in Los Angeles, July 17th. And there's ways to find out more about this because it's wrathofpcon.com. So wrath of, and then the letter P, and then con.com. And you can find out all sorts of things that's going on with this sweet summer of sweet revenge.
Well, nuts.
It's also going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, and I hear the line is going to be longer than Hall H. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is that when I get this sandwich, I'm going to hold it up in the air and shake it and go, pecans!
I would take a bite out of it first, and then, yeah. Yes. There's also a Funko Pops tie-in, those little dolls. They've got a vote. Apparently, they're handling the vote right now, and it'll be available for pre-order on June 6th, which is probably now if you're listening to the podcast. And they're voting between a regular battle ready con or a post-battle con where his face is all melted after the destruction of the Mutard and Nebula and all that battle action. So this is also it's a sweet summer of sweet revenge, if I can say it correctly, for Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, the 40th anniversary, and Paramount's like all over it.
We have a lot of good stuff to look to.
So on Twitter, Starfleet Underground posted, I think it was, maybe we posted that in our group chat.
No, we'll share it. We'll share that one because that was a good image. And now I understand the tie-in because it's all about ice cream and being revengeful.
Right. Like, what was
ice cream, you scream?
Revenge is best served cold is a dish best served cold, and revenge is sweet. Oh my God, revenge is ice cream.
Yes.
So here you are saying this ice cream and the name is going to be, and I'm like, it's going to be revenge or it's going to be sweet revenge. Like, I'm just waiting for you to say like, it's revenge. This ice cream named Revenge.
Yeah, that would have been a better way to do it. That'd be an awesome ice cream name. Yeah. Oh, I'll just have like a bowl of revenge, please. Just 2 scoops of revenge. Yeah, on a cone.
Is that like Captain Crunch?
No, waffle cone. Okay, thank you.
That would be the best ice cream name ever.
What would it taste like?
That's like Captain Crunch, right? Like Crunch Berries?
Sweet. It would taste sweet.
Okay.
Because it's revenge is sweet, so it makes sense. Okay, my news is that the friends over in Exo 6 has, they do all these great figures. They had like the Dr. Janeway 7, and they really look good, and they're like 12 inches, which I could make a Patrick reference, but I won't. And they're sculpted beautifully. They have a new one coming out for those of you that collect them, and that's going to be Tuvok, not Tuvix, not Twix, but Tuvoks. They have a new one, and he is going to have his Class B Starfleet uniform, and he's fully articulated, and he stands, like I stated earlier, 12 inches.
Tuvok was always very articulated.
Yeah, he's going to have like interchangeable hands. So you can have him holding a phaser or a tricorder or other naughty bits.
Maybe give the hand signal from Vulcans.
And he will also do the shocker.
Oh,
wait, what? Dot?
Is that one in the pink, one in the stink?
No, it's the Vulcan salute, not the shocker. I apologize.
It's the one in the green, the one in the... Oh, never mind.
And they're going to have hands for the Vulcan nerve pinch as well as the Mind-Meld. He's going to come with the transporter pad, display base, and like car's information. So if you see Tim Russ, you can come up to him and say, sign this. And so that would be pretty cool. There's going to even be more figures that's going to be coming from them, which I'm really looking forward to. And that's going to be the Doc as well. So now if you want to go get them, they have a bunch of stuff there for you to go buy. And it's at exo6.com. Price is $198 plus shipping. So if you can't afford it and put it on the credit card, you got something to look forward to in the next tax return.
Wait, people get money back on tax returns?
All right.
Like, apparently.
Not enough to buy an Exo 6 doll. Jeez, I'm doing something wrong. I got to talk to my accountant.
Every time I go back in the time to go to Earth stuff, I file taxes. And it's really nice to go back. And that's how I have money
really
to
depressing,
go to conventions
sir.
when we go back. Well, it's nice to be able to have some unexpected money on the side. That's
not part of the bingo card.
Oh, I know.
Go back in time and pay
headquarters.
taxes. What the fuck?
Starfleet headquarters actually got me because I was going back to the 1800s and picking up random stuff and then bringing them back to 2022 and selling them as antiques.
Yeah, that's not legal.
I found that out. Starfleet was all over that.
It seemed like an innocent enough thing. Like, no, who could possibly use this old thing antique? Nobody would need that. And apparently... It has ramifications.
They get so ticked off when I sold a copy of Mr. Ed on TV Guide for like $700. I thought it was nothing. And it was in pristine because, instant time travel. But they said, no, what I'm doing is unethical, violates all kinds of things. And the temporal police was after me. Thankfully.
That explains why you're on our ship, sir. Yeah. Okay. There's a whole bunch of your backstory. It just makes more sense now.
Yeah. But thanks for that guy from Section 31. He kind of made it go away, but I had to promise never to do it again. So, but they haven't said anything about the taxes. So that's good. Which
is that why Section 31 watches us like a hawk?
Yeah.
Well, we do their bidding from time to time.
They're in my quarters at night because of you.
Well, there's another reason for that, and we'll talk about that on the back channel.
That's called a bonus?
Yeah.
A boner?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, my.
You know why I keep telling you to make sure you wear something when you go to sleep, but it looks like you still don't. So.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She's like, yeah, so what?
Anyway.
We got a new ship for it. Okay. And that explains why what's her name was in your quarters all the time. Oh my God, I blanked on her name. She actually saved you once on an away mission.
Giorgio.
Yeah, Giorgio's forever coming into your quarters.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
La 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 la.
No, that's right.
Oh, please. Like, I don't have to listen to your date night, Patrick.
I don't have a date night. I'm asexual, remember?
And you still share it with the whole crew.
Okay.
Asexual means I don't have sex at all.
And you share it with us all the time, sir. We don't care.
He doesn't
That's how
do
we
it.
know you got. That's how we know you got that bingo spot.
He doesn't do it because he's a good girl.
So crazy about Elvis.
See?
Yeah, he knows the song.
Let's get ready to get this thing started. And for those of you that love my science officer's voice, because I do get feedback on that, this is a happy show for you because take it away, Heather.
It's Patrick.
No, it's me this time, you bonehead.
Yeah, I get stuff about your voice also.
I sent so many comments to the captain and still this happens.
Yeah, I quote, the guy who does your number one, his voice resonates in my ears and makes me shiver. So
you lying sack of shit.
Ooh.
No, so this is for you.
Okay, this episode is Star Trek Strange New World, Season 1, Episode 5, Spock Amok. And it aired June 2nd, 2022. 1922, yeah.
You can tell your age if you happen to accidentally say the date with a 19.
Right?
Millennials don't do that.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm a millennial and I don't do that. Never mind.
That was so last century. Okay, teaser. It's Kun Ut Caliphate, bitch. But Spock has human ears. T'Pring won't marry a human. She invokes the Caliphate, which is the ritual duel to the death. Human Spock must battle Vulcan Spock with Lurpas. V Spock disarms H Spock and is about to land the Lurpas in a killing blow when Spock awakens from his dream. Science Officer's Log, Stardate 2341.4. After our harrowing adventure with the Gorn, Enterprise has returned to Starbase 1, one of the oldest and most venerated space stations in the Federation, newly repaired after the Klingon War. Here the crew is adjourning for some much-needed rest and relaxation. While I have agreed to assist the captain with a diplomatic matter, I plan to spend most of the time here with my fiancée T'Pring, who has arranged to join me since our last visit was cut short by bing, bing, bing. T'Pring is at the door. Parted but never parted, never and always touching and touched, meeting at the appointed place. She reminds Spock that she came to rehabilitate Barjan Tor, but is having K'til cover her so that they can be together. Pike, Spock, and Uhura and Admiral April prep to meet the Rongovian Protectorate. The Rongovians so far have not been amenable to any diplomatic overtures, but they have a nifty solar sail ship for ceremonial occasions. They arrive early and La'an shows them in. Captain Vaso will only speak to Pike. Ortega's Chapel and Dr. Mbenga get ready to go on shore leave. Ortegas and Chapel discuss the possibility of romantic interludes with Lieutenant Dever, or that women on Argalius too. Una and La'an supervise the departing crew when Mbenga lets slip about the nickname for Una. Ortegas admits that Yeoman call Una where the fun goes to die. Spock returns late for dinner. T'Pring is upset, thinking that Spock's duties make him behave more human, and she can't abide that.
The beginning part of this, it's kind of interesting to see two people supposed to be non-passionate kind of try to get a romantic date going.
Right? But they do a good job at it.
Yeah. And even though her being logic, she just enough snark in her voice to let him know that, yeah, you're pissing me off. I thought it was kind of funny.
Well, I mean, she does a very human thing when she first approaches his room. She's like, she criticizes his decorations. That's a very human thing for her to do.
I'm like the little things. It's always the little things. He moves. I don't know if those are root beer mugs or what, but he pushes them a certain direction. And then the second she shows up and says, "Your room's a mess. Fuck your room." And then she moves the mugs back to where they were originally. So if he never touched them, she would have been totally happy. I'm just confused by the whole decorative thing.
Yeah, but he does a total guy thing also. It's like, I'm still decorating.
Yeah,
I'm
no
not
shit.
finished yet.
Permanently decorating all the time.
He took that to heart too, because in the original series, his room looks very Vulcan. So I bet he did that after her criticism.
Yeah, no doubt. Because she came in and that's what's going on. And I was like, wow, they did a really good job of making this sound like a thing.
The opening dream sequence though, that was something else, because we got a lot of cool Star Trek shit in there.
There were Easter eggs.
Yeah, big time. And the music, when the music hit, that was just like, yes!
The exact same music.
It was beautiful.
So If you guys don't know what we're talking about, they use the exact same music that they used on the original series Amok Time, which was season 2, episode 5. They use the same scenery, they use the same guns, the same bells, the same weapons, and it's actually like sort of a premonition of the future, because that's kind of what happened in that
it is, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Because he was all scared. This is a nightmare. He doesn't want her to reject him, and he has to like battle someone to the death. Well, guess what? It kind of happens.
Yeah, that's true. I thought it was kind of funny because, she just like, tells him to go basically play with himself. I mean, fight with himself. So that was kind of interesting.
Play with yourself, fight with yourself, potato.
Sometimes it's a struggle, right?
With that thing, he got cut across his chest, the same spot that he cut Kirk.
Yeah,
the diagonal straight across. So it was definitely interesting. Go ahead.
Human versus Vulcan. It's like he's having an inner conflict with himself. And going back to the whole jokes about, him battling himself, it reminds me of siblings. Why'd you hit yourself? Why'd you hit yourself, huh?
Exactly.
Why'd you hit yourself? Did that hurt? Stop hitting yourself.
I thought it was interesting because you would think Spock wouldn't be really freaking out about this because he's been human, half human his whole life, and he's probably figured that out for a lot of it. In fact, no, it's a major ordeal, and he's really concerned about not what he thinks about it, but what his lover thinks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when he wakes up in the morning, he does that first thing is that he checks and looks in the mirror and says, my ears are there. Yeah. And then he's like, well, I don't really believe what I see. And he's got to feel on his ears to make sure that they are really indeed really there.
Make sure his ears haven't gone flaccid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he didn't indulge in self-gratification. That's what T'Pring is there for, number one. But it was definitely kind of interesting. And it also kind of gives you an insight to Vulcan relationship because they don't have to have 7 years horniness to do the deed.
Yeah.
It's just that male Vulcans have an imperative at 7 years that they must.
Yeah. Where they can do it. It's just that when they get 7 years, it's like,
you can do it.
That's a long ass no dick November for 7 years. That was the case.
Oh, wow.
But no, but it was actually, it was pretty good. The preamble I thought was definitely interesting.
Yeah. And did you guys notice that in this entire episode, we see 4 different Spocks? So we see Spock himself like normal. We see the human Spock in the dream, the full Spock, fully Vulcan Spock in the dream sequence, and then Spock as T'Pring, or T'Pring as Spock.
It's all Spock all the time.
All Spock all the time.
I mean, his name is in the title of the show.
Yeah, and this has happened before where a character was split in two, a half character was split in two. And that was B'Elanna in Voyager, because she was split in her human half and then her Klingon half. And that was Voyager Faces.
And also you have the Turnabout Intruder.
I was going to say that one.
Yeah, when you have Kirk split in half, he had his evil side and then he had his wussy side.
Yeah.
So, which apparently the way to make someone look evil is to shine a flashlight from underneath their face.
And so a little bit of eye makeup.
Yeah.
And that's the original series, season 3, episode 24.
So that was pretty interesting.
Okay, the other part of the show, there's I think there's like 3 sub-stories in this show, but one of them, of course, was the Rongovians, and they got there early. Like, dude, like seriously, I know people show up early to the party, but literally it's like 3 days ahead of the party. We're going to talk this weekend or next week or whatever, and and there they show up, and I'm just like, what the nerve of these people?
I hate it when that happens.
The noive.
It's like, I haven't finished straightening up yet. Wait outside.
I never finished straightening up.
I am not going to touch that.
Did you guys notice that whoever does the log at the beginning of the show, that's who the show is like focused on?
No, I haven't packed that out yet. But now that you've said it, I'm going to focus more on that when I listen to the next one.
Cool.
And number 1, next section.
Okay, Act 1. Lieutenant Deaver makes Chapel uncomfortable talking about their relationship. La'an and Una discuss Una not knowing about the nickname and how it makes her feel out of touch when the computer alerts them to a security breach in Airlock 4. They arrive to find Ensigns Christina and Zier, a human and a Bolian, donning EV suits. Spock and Chapel talk about relationships and she gives him advice on T'Pring. They talk about their pets growing up. Spock suggests to T'Pring a soul-sharing ritual so that they may better understand each other. She agrees and it's Freaky Frackin' Friday, bitches.
This part here shows the budding relationship with Christine being able to start having feelings for Spock, because you see she's on a date kind of, and the guy's talking to her and she's yeah, whatever. She's staring at him over on the side.
I've never had that happen to me.
Of course, because they know how. Yeah, you have a boot sheath, but yeah, and she's like, whatever, this was nice and all, but I gotta be going. She just leaves the guy at the table and then goes sits down with Spock and say, what's up? You got a sad face. So that was kind of neat.
She wants to turn that frown upside down.
Yeah, to see it kind of start. It's the first indication that she's got emotions there for him.
I love the way she points out that Spock is clearly intelligent and you're also an idiot, and then whacks him in the head. Of course, you stood the woman up.
Yeah.
You promised to be there, and then you stood her up. I mean, you didn't even give her a phone call. What the fuck?
Yeah, and basically also she does what a lot of guys tend to forget. She may be a Vulcan and she may have logic, but she's also a woman. You forget this. There's things that women expect.
It had nothing to do with logic.
And you just take that for granted. It was a common courtesy. You didn't call.
I mean that in the most beautiful way possible.
And you didn't call. It's like, it'd be like, okay, let's say, for instance, if a guy was in a relationship with Heather and Heather is very self-sufficient. And
you have to use me as an example?
Yeah, for this one, because it'll work. And then she's putting up a shelf, let's say, and she's struggling with the shelf, and the guy's sitting on the sofa just watching like, she's strong and independent. I'm not going to even bother fucking help. And the person's just going to get a little ticked at that. It's like, don't you see me trying to lift one hand and then drill with the other? But you're independent. Yeah, fuck you. My science officer can do a whole bunch of shit. But if she's struggling with something, just give a hand. Help. Don't sit there and watch for your amusement. But a lot of people tend to do that. And it's unfortunate.
I did.
But that's basically what it was.
This is why I don't have a boyfriend. So when Spock...
Or very tall shelves.
Or very tall shelves. When Spock and his girlfriend did the Freaky Friday, I thought it was hilarious because this entire time the girlfriend's going off about how he's more human than Vulcan, and the whole thing's about, how human is he, how Vulcan is he. If he was a human male who got Freaky Friday'd into his girlfriend's body, that human would have freaking been looking at the boobs and everything else.
They almost completely ignored this subject. I'm like, what?
Yes.
That was the first thing, like, okay.
Yeah.
We switched. Okay, hold. Before we do anything, can we take 20 minutes and figure something out real quick? Okay.
It's like, why are you in the corner just with this file on your face? There's an episode, this is going on another show, but there's an episode of Farscape where they manage switching bodies. There's Crichton, who's the male character, and there's Aaron, who's a female badass character, and they wind up switching bodies. And so he's supposed to be fixing the ship, and he's got his back turned to the door, and you see him all of a sudden pause. He looks around and doesn't see anybody. He looks down at his chest, and then he opens up the vest, and you see him go, "Oh, mama." And he starts shaking him, right? And he's bouncing him up and down, and he shakes him left and right. And then all of a sudden he gets real quiet, and you see he opens his hands and he goes, and he grabs him. While he's doing all of this, she's at the door. Another body watching him, and he's like, "Oh, mom." And she's like, "Crichton, what are you doing in my body?" And he whips around, and he goes, "What?" He goes, "They're there, okay? They're there. This is what guys dream of." I ignored him for several yarns already, but
Exactly.
So I thought that was funny.
Didn't Aaron and Crichton's body tell him towards the end that she pleasured him? Or
that was also funny. At the very end of the show, and he's like, "I just want to apologize what I did in your body." She's like, "That's okay. You'll never know what I did in yours." He goes, "What you did in mine, Aaron?"
That would be fun.
You're right. They totally ignored that part with Spock. So the subtleties of switching bodies with them, I think, was really good as actors, what they did.
Oh, that was great.
For Peck to be able to play himself playing someone else, trying to play himself, that's just
And she
hard.
did that too. It's just the amazing acting skills on both of them. I watched the Ready Room afterward and realized what they actually did to make it they did a physical thing with their hands. Like Spock would have his hands down in front or back, and she would have them the other way. I just thought, wait a minute. And then I watched it the second time. I'm like, oh, I see them doing it. That's awesome. That's crazy. And it totally works, kind of.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Pike's looking at him going, What?
I forgot to watch The Ready Room.
The Ready Room had some good insights on this episode and everything.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was just kind of laughing at she comes back to the room with Spock and he's got like every single candle on the starship up in the room. Like, that's a lot of candles. Did you guys think that was not a lot of candles? I thought it was
I was expecting a smoke alarm to go off.
I know. I was thinking he turned off his like safety hazards or something.
And then when they transitioned, they all went out at the same time. I'm just like, whoa! It's those little touches that just get my simple mind just excited.
Now, do you guys know they've actually done body switching in Star Trek before 3 other times in 3 other series? Do you remember any of them?
Well,
Yeah,
Trill's
that was,
body swap a lot.
The Turnabout Intruder is the one that I can actually remember. And
Where the
that was,
mad scientist switches bodies with Kirk. Yeah, and that was the original series, season 3, episode 24. The other 2 were the Next Generation, season 7, episode 8, Attached, where Picard and Crusher's mind are linked telepathically.
Well, they didn't swap, but they were definitely connected.
And then the other one was Voyager, season 7, episode 7, Body and Soul, where the Doctor is inside Seven's body.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I forgot about that one too.
Well, doctors often get inside Seven's body.
Something with her Borg implant? I have to rewatch the show.
That was actually, thanks, Heather, for doing the research on that, because I forgot about those other 2.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then...
So meanwhile, everyone else is on shore leave, right? Is that the next act or is this act still? No, that's this
we're
act.
going to the...
But we discover that Una has a nickname.
Where fun goes to die.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
And that was kind of neat to see crewmen who knew that they basically shouldn't be doing what they're doing get caught red-handed. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing in the airlock?
Oops. I like Luann's, God, I said it wrong. Luann's, I made such a big deal about this last week. Luann's attitude towards shore leave. They, of course, Ortegas calls it shore stay because they don't go anywhere. They just stay on the ship. And I'm like, I agree completely with her because she's like, the ship's, quiet, clears out, can actually get some work done. It's just you and the gentle thrum of the warp core. It's like Christmas. I don't know if it's like Christmas, but I like the gentle thrum of a warp core.
It is.
Well, especially between your legs.
Well, you don't have to sit on the warp core, but no one will question you because they're all on shore leave.
How did you know what that vibrator's name was called?
Which one?
Oh, wow.
The warp core.
You have so many of them.
It's the big one with the blue glowing thing.
It resonates at a certain frequency. It's hard to miss.
I would interject, but I'm not going to. So,
next section.
Get ready to go over to the next section, please. Yes.
Okay, Act 2. Pike is about to leave for shore leave when Admiral April tells him the Rongovians canceled further negotiations because a connection wasn't made, and they won't speak to Pike anymore. Spock and T'Pring try all sorts of Vulcan rituals to undo Freaky Friday, but nothing is working for them, and then Pike comes to the door requesting Spock speak to the Rongovians. They tell Pike what happens, and T'Pring agrees to go in as Spock to speak to them. Una and La'an play good cop and bad cop with the ensigns, and they admit that they were playing Enterprise Bingo, and the last square was to sign the Scorch. Their shore leave is revoked, and they must clean the transporter pads. So horrible.
With a micro brush.
Exactly. It's terrible, terrible fate. Cattell contacts T'Pring, or Spock, to tell her that Barjan will only meet with her. That's your guys' cue.
Yeah, that was only meet with her rather than okay, I see what you did there. I thought it was interesting because both of them think their jobs aren't that hard.
Oh, and this is like classic. Like put yourself in someone else's shoes.
She's in Spock's body. He's like, yeah, I can take care of this. He's like, no, you can't. Yeah. How hard can it be? Tell him stop arguing. We got this.
I'm like, this is getting really close to hijinks, guys.
Seriously,
that was
Who doesn't like hijinks?
Oh my God, the hijinks in this episode. They should have called it hijinks. Of course, they called it Spock Amok, which is just about equivalent to hijinks.
Right.
And then
they could have
Spock
called
is
it
in
Spock hijinks.
Yeah, and then Spock is in the room in her body, and he's thinking, finally, I could do that thing that the censors won't let me do. And before he can get in that complicated shirt, the comedic thing goes off and says, we need you now to take care of this situation. And only you could do it. Okay. So both of them are doing each other's job.
Yeah.
And so honestly, if I ever woke up in Patrick's body, I don't know if I could do his ambassador stuff as well as he does.
Would you be alone in your quarters for 20 minutes as well?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't do that at all. And if I switch your body, it wouldn't help me either, because constantly I would hear your voice. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you do it. Captain, I will stab you in your sleep. Don't you do it. So, yes. Yeah, that's what Patrick. Treat me go ill the whole time. Ill. I got Bobby things. Ill.
Ew.
I had to laugh incredibly hard at Good Cop, Bad Cop. And when Luan actually called Bad Cop first, she's like, oh, damn it, you got it first. Okay. I just, that's so fucking hilarious.
That's how they have fun. That's their version of fun.
Where fun goes to die, apparently, yeah.
Yeah, that's their version of fun, playing Bad Cop.
Those two need to get a room.
Even though that you don't like having fun, to have somebody actually call you that is kind of hurtful.
Yeah.
That's how she was able to get her to do all of that shit. It's like, I'm a fun person. I am not a merry man.
What a perfect time to introduce Enterprise Bingo.
I know. That was wild.
They had some good stuff on their list. So I paused. I know a lot of people paused it to look at the list, but they had some good stuff on their bingo list.
Such as...
Okay, the first one, not because it was funny, because it was kind of funny, but it was used transporter to reflavor gum, but autocorrect changed gum to bum for some reason. And I just had to pause because I was laughing so hard at that.
I mean, a reflavored bum is always nice.
Ew,
I don't want to know about that.
Ew. The next one on the list was a phaser stun dub, I think.
Duel.
Yeah,
is that
duel.
What that is?
That's what happens when you use the wrong font too small.
Yes, and that's funny also. She's like, wait.
Yeah, you don't say wait in a duel. That's not how you win a duel.
No.
Like,
wait a second.
She's like, that actually stings.
Yeah, of course it does.
Lance, like, are we having fun yet? The Turbo 2 floor shout challenge. Turbo Lift 2.
That was my favorite.
That was a good one.
I was just like, oh my God, they both shouted this different roar. That's what's it going to do? That's a great question to answer.
Yeah, to see which one is going to listen to.
I mean, you think like the Turbo Lift would like start bouncing back and forth between two places at once. No, it's just going to go with the first one it understands.
Yep. The Gravity Boot Hain Challenge, the Medical Tricorder Challenge with the Vulcan Marsupial, the Food Replicator Challenge for the Duran Fruit, sneak a Tribble into the Transporter Buffer. I was happy they had a Tribble on that list.
I think there's a continuity problem with it, but I'll allow it because it's funny.
Sit in the captain's chair, EV suit challenge, the unsanctioned spacewalk, and sign the Scorch.
Scorch.
Don't
you remember from the I Love Lucy episode where they were the women from Mars?
Yeah.
They walked around going, Scorch.
Oh, that's funch.
I thought they were talking about when the Klingon goes through puberty. What is that on your face, Worf?
No, that's a Gorch.
Oh, Gorch. Gorch. That's right. It's a Gorch. So that was definitely funny. And you know what isn't funny is how well my number one handles the show notes. Next section.
Okay.
I give him compliments and he finds it droll. I insult him, he gets upset.
Anyway.
I need to talk to Nurse Chapel on how to handle this guy.
Anyway, so Act 3. Una and La'an decide to play Enterprise Bingo. While Chapel and Ortegas are walking through a biosphere, a pissed-off-looking T'Pring approaches them and asks Chapel to assist her with some stuff. T'Pring asks for help with Barjan, and then she tells her about Freaky Friday. T'Pring in Spock, is negotiating with the Rongovians. Pike isn't supposed to interrupt, but he does, explaining that Spike. Sorry, Buffy reference. Explaining that Spock is everything that is great about Starfleet. Vassar likes that Pike stood up for Spock.
Buffy reference.
I like that too. I really enjoyed the
Buffy reference.
I didn't watch Buffy. I have no idea what's going on with Buffy.
I love that.
I just know it was good and I missed out. And I love Michelle Gellar, but I haven't seen the Sarah Michelle Gellar, but I haven't seen the show. What was I talking about? Oh, Pike came back and got Spock's back and explained that Spock is basically why Starfleet is so fucking cool, because it's accepted Spock of all people. I think that's just a kind of a wonderful thing, and that these crazy aliens looked at that and said, yeah, that's okay. I like that.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Cuckoo.
I can't believe they actually did the Enterprise bingo. Like, I didn't think they would actually sit there and do the Enterprise bingo.
I love that they did, though. I think that was wonderful. And it really shows off the spirit of these two wonderful, very strong, tight officers that when they let loose, they do some amazing shit, because they know how to have a good time. Of course they do. Just they can't let anybody see it for some reason.
Yeah, well,
their idea of good time and the crew's idea of a good time are vastly different, but they're just trying to get a better understanding of the common folk.
When you have to deal with the crew so often that it's a giant pleasure to get them off the fucking ship so you can actually sit down and get your paperwork done.
It's a pleasure to get the crew off?
Yeah. Off the ship.
And they secretly had fun with that, too. You know they were having fun with that.
They were having great fun with that. Except for when she got shot with the phaser.
Ow, that hurt.
That actually stung.
I was out in a area one time. I was deployed in an area where they didn't have separate sleeping quarters for the NCO and the rest of the troops. And there was nonstop guys all over the place, running back and forth and everything else. And then came time for liberty, and they all skated out. The entire barracks emptied except for me, because I didn't want to go anywhere. And the pleasure that you get for something simple as taking a shower by yourself with not a bunch of people around you, going to the bathroom without somebody trying to engage you in conversation while you're sitting on the toilet. It's just, so I get it. Everyone's gone. You can actually, this is nice. I can sleep during the day. I can do everything. Nobody's asking me questions. I take a shit by myself. It's really cool. Because when you're in a barracks, you do not have a personal shower. Everybody takes showers at the same time. And if somebody drops the soap, all conversation stops.
Ooh.
And then everyone stares at the person who dropped the soap. And he looks around the room, puts his back against the wall, and slides down and kind of reaches all the way out to get the soap. When he gets the soap, he gets it in his hands and slides his ass up the wall so he's standing. As soon as he stands fully erect, all conversation starts like it never stopped. I cried.
That is really offensive.
Well, you hear what happens in prisons.
You know, this happened back in the 80s where it was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
It's really offensive.
But that's what happened in the shower.
To think that you're so hot that the minute you bend over, someone's going to try and fuck you, please.
No, it's just because someone's going to give him a hard time because he bent over in the shower.
Yeah, they're going to give him a hard time.
Not because he's looking so
thinks.
hot.
They were really back then. If you, unfortunately, it shows how far we came since the 80s. If you were gay in the service and they found out, that was instant removal. So, but now it's changed. But yeah, back then that's how the showers, the bathrooms didn't have any doors on the stalls. So you could be sitting there doing a deuce and somebody come up, "Hey, Sergeant, what are we doing?" Like, fuck, do you see what I'm doing?
Time to take a shit.
Could you just leave me alone, please? So yeah, having an empty ship is good.
Well, the Enterprise does only have one bathroom in the whole ship, and it's right in the center.
That's not necessarily canon right there.
Well, you can just use the transporter to
Yeah, but then you got to work with Chief Kyle, and Kyle's kind of a dick.
God, that is really funny.
Just beam your poop out, man.
Oh my God. That's a lower deck. The bathrooms don't work. Your job today is to teleport all the shit into space.
That's definitely on the bingo card. I didn't get that one.
Well, you don't want to teleport it into space because you're using it in the food replicators.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I like not to think about that.
Besides, you don't want to litter.
That's changing the subject.
Yeah, thank you.
That part where Spock and Chapel are talking, and Chapel says, "It must be so weird to be in your fiance's body," and Spock's like, "I haven't had time to consider it."
Yeah, that was all they did to that whole thing. That would have been the first thing I would have done, was let Spock consider it.
Yes, Chapel says, "Really?" And Spock looks down at his breast for the first time. Like, it took him that long to look at his breast. I just had to point that out. It took a really fucking long time for me to look at that.
He's a Vulcan. He's not a typical male. So
he is half human.
But his other half was checking it out. That's for sure.
But he was raised on Vulcan, so he doesn't have any of the normal human male compulsions of like, oh, I got titties. You know, I mean, come on.
But apparently they've been together for a while, so the element of surprise isn't there.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, I've seen it.
Yeah. I've been there, done that, got the postcard. So
lick that stamp.
Oh my.
Oh, see, you wouldn't know this, Patrick, but the bumps on a woman's nipple.
Would.
No, bumps on a woman's nipple actually says something in Braille. Do you know what it says?
Lick here.
Yes. So you have. All right. Go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Oh,
I told you.
I forgot you're not a gold star. Go ahead.
I am not a gold star gay. No. Okay. Act 4. Spock and T'Pring and Chapel go to meet Barjan, and he objects to a human being there. T'Pring is surprised that he cares, being that he's Vatosh Couture. He counters that he wonders how El Tesh Tangtil can employ humans in the service of logic, and that she's a curiosity among Vulcans for her tolerance of these creatures. She defends Vulcan ideals on one hand and insults them on the other, being betrothed to a half-human Spock. Chapel jumps in to defend Spock as twice the Vulcan Barjan is. T'Pring knocks him on his ass. In sickbay, M'Bengal and Chappa attempt to undo Freaky Friday. Success! Back in his quarters, Spock and T'Pring openly discuss their fears they have in their relationships and agree that they both must want to be there. They seal their commitment with a kiss. In the conference room, Spike and Uhura meet with the Rongovians, and Vaso asks why they should join the Federation, to which Pike lists all the reasons they shouldn't, much to Admiral April's dismay. But Pike had a hunch, based on the Rongovians' past history, they wanted someone to see their point of view. They leave, and their solar sail ship flies the Federation flag. Out on the hull, Una and La'an sign the Scorch while surrounded by a force field, so they don't need EV suits. They watch the solar sail ship pass over their heads.
That part actually, for the first time in a while in a show, that instantly put me in their place. I could just close my eyes and just imagine looking up into the blackness of space with all the stars and seeing that pass overhead. That was
that
beautiful.
gave me goosebumps.
It was really cool. It was.
So
was.
cool.
And when you think about the guy sailing on that solar sail starship, amazing bit of engineering to just come out and celebratory fly the flag if you find your solution to your problem. I thought that was funny because I realized that's why they showed up early in the first place, because they caught that solar wind and it was a lot stronger than they were expecting. So they arrived so many days early. They're like, we're here now. Let's get it done.
They went with the wind. They sailed with the wind.
Yeah.
It was a really, they outdid
the song you were thinking
themselves.
of is Ride Like the Wind by Christopher Cross.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking also, sail away, come sail away with me, lad. Okay. Well, at any rate, that was such a beautifully rendered scene. It was just amazing. And with that digital wall they have, I can just imagine how it looked while they were in front of it.
Several scenes in this episode with that wall is just, I mean, the whole conference room on the starbase where you see the Enterprise in the background, that's another one of my favorites.
It was really done well.
Yeah.
And then
it looked really amazing.
It did. It really did. So I was quite happy with that. And then you have like Nurse Chapel to save the day again. She puts the unicorn horns on their head. Or was it the other guy that did it?
Unicorn horns. Oh my God. What do they call those things? No, they don't call them unicorn horns.
Crystals?
No. There's a name for it. It was
crystal therapy?
No. It was that one's a techie term.
They've done it before.
Unicorn horns.
It's technobabble. There's technobabble for what those are.
And they've done it before, and it's been on several episodes. And I don't have the episodes, but I know one of those episodes was
cortical stimulators. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
That's what it
cortical
was.
stimulators.
And
Yeah,
the first time they were used was during the Enterprise show, right? Not the first time. I mean, like first time in Star
I'm sure
Trek
they
history.
use them now, and they just call them something completely different.
But I like when
she breaks it down and she says, "Oh, we're just going to zap them."
Yeah, and M'Benga, I like the way he has to add. He's sitting there with the cryptic look on his face. Go, theoretically, this is going to work. So don't be pissed at us if it doesn't.
I love that in their chapels. She's like, they're going to Vulcan neck pinch us, aren't they?
And the doctor's like, most definitely.
And the one part that actually made me chuckle is when Christine leans over to M'Benga and goes, if this isn't some work, we're going to totally get nerve pinched for this, aren't we?
Yeah, it was just hilarious.
It was so funny.
And then they scream.
Yeah, he got to scream again, that big Vulcan scream that he has. I wonder how many times that Spock is going to be screaming in this show, and then we can have a supercut.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow. That'll be on YouTube. You know, somebody will play it. 4 hours of Spock screaming.
Well, they didn't show us the scream when him and T'Pring finished.
Yeah. It's like, Spock, you're so loud.
Oh, my God. What kind of lover is Spock? Oh, wow.
The person upstairs starts banging on the floors. Shut up.
Well, they were banging on the floor, too, I bet, by the time he get finished.
I've seen Wi-Fi SIDs out there where people have actually put that as their Wi-Fi, their Wi-Fi names. It's like, you know, people downstairs, you're fucking too loud.
That's like hilarious.
That. You know, so it's really kind of
That's
funny.
The international communication language of hailing frequency of name my Wi-Fi router. Fuck you, neighbors.
Yeah.
Right. Hailing router, shut the fuck up.
And there's been, you can look on Reddit. They have a whole bunch of them where people have those wars and they kind of try to yell at each other on their Wi-Fi broadcast names. I liked how they get back and they actually have a couple therapy moment and they both realize that, yeah, your job isn't as easy as I thought. I have a question for the crew here. Did we ever hear what was the repercussions of Spock and T'Pring's body knocking that other dude out?
No.
She said it was a logical thing to do. Because she met him. She knows what he's like.
Well, they're trying to get him back into the Vulcan society, right? I don't know how hitting him or punching him helped, but...
It was logical, though. That's what her response was. Yeah, that's logical.
I expected what you call from Friday to pop up out of here and go, you just got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, by T'Pring of all people.
Yeah, well, really. She obviously that Vulcan strength because she didn't rub her fists or anything. So that was pretty cool.
The Vulcan on Vulcan violence, even if they aren't following logic, just was it necessary, really? Apparently, logically, it was, but.
It was his human side.
It was fun to watch.
It was better than the other Vulcan on Vulcan violence where they batter each other over sex, but fight to the death and all. But just a quick little knock the fuck out. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I really like Ensign Mount as an actor.
said knock you out.
Yeah.
As an actor where they ask him, it's like, why did you basically hand grenade the whole thing? And it's a hunch. And Admiral April was like, oh, I hope it pays off. I'm going to trust you. And then they popped the pirate flag.
Yeah, I like it. He played the hunch and he's like, well, it was a good hunch. That was great.
That was funny.
And it all comes down to empathy, like purest form right then and there. Look, here's what Starfleet is, and here's what we think you think of us. And look, if we show you this, maybe you'll be more interested in working with us because we kind of understand where you're coming from. Maybe we'd be better to work with. I love that methodology.
That was good.
And this whole episode is full of the whole empathy thing, the relationships and whatnot. Walking
in someone else's shoes.
Mm-hmm. And to admit it.
Although I'm still trying to figure out Nurse Chapel just a little bit. I mean, eventually, I could see the long play for Spock.
But she likes women too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I like how nobody's gotten insane over it on Twitter just yet. Not that I've seen.
That's because
I think most people didn't. It was said so quickly that you almost missed it unless you have this.
But they freaked the fuck out the first time. Well, not everybody. I mean, maybe I'm singling out the one person I interacted with on Instagram that was upset Spock was getting sexy time. But I'm hoping they feel better about it now because there's at least some empathy involved in it.
It really was. And for them to be in bed together, I thought it was kind of cool. It was just chilling. It's like,
Well, it's not the first time. It's like the second time we've seen them in bed.
Yeah, it is. But the conversation they had is kind of like an after the moment type of thing while you're in the afterglow. And she's like, I really enjoyed being Mr. Spock.
Do Vulcans have afterglow?
For a day. Well, apparently I know Vulcans do too. And then Spock was
they just glow a little greener than normal.
Wouldn't you know, Patrick?
No comment.
And it's like beating your body was really good. And then it thought about it for a second. It's like, I really enjoyed being in your body.
That would have been creepy.
I really enjoyed being in your body.
We should do that again sometime.
And then are you as hot as I am right now? Hell yeah. I know what you like now. So
I know what girls like. I know what boys want.
Girls want.
They want my body.
But they cannot have it.
Oh my.
The waitress
was the dude that Nurse Chapel was meeting up with was like, "Oh, you look hot."
Oh, he was totally into her.
Yeah, but he was like more because he was getting emotional over it, and she's like,
he blew it though, talking about a relationship.
Yeah, he's like, he's looking for a future. He's like, I think I like being around with you a lot. I want to do it more, and she's like, no.
We haven't even had fucking dessert yet.
I'm sorry.
Talking about a future.
Because she's like, no, let's get out of here and go have fun. And he's like, I just want to have some dinner first.
No, he's like, I want to read you poetry.
Yeah. Like, come on.
And she's like, I can't do this.
I feel real sorry for him because he's incredibly confused and he thinks he's doing all the right things. And that's how it goes sometimes.
No, it's like Bluto coming down the stairs in Animal House and the guy's trying to regale the woman a guitar, but with the poetry. My love is like a flower. He snatches the guitar and smashes the shit out of it and hands it back. She's like, yeah, take time to know what the woman you're with wants. Just assume that is a template. I mean, come on.
Also be genuine, like if he digs poetry and that's what he's into, awesome. If he's just reading it because he thinks that's what she likes, oh, you are so wrong. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
That was another great message of this episode was be genuine, be truthful, not just to other people, but also to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point. It's a really good point.
Empathy and truth is like the big themes.
We're coming towards the end because I get a hard stop. I got a shuttlecraft coming to pick me up here. I don't know why they won't let me take the captain's yacht, but they said no. So
that was part of the bingo, sir. It was take the captain's yacht out and let's just say the slingshot around the back in time for 5 minutes thing. It worked really good, but the paint job's a little scuffed, and we don't want you to see that.
No. Oh, fuck. Again, you know how long it took me for them to put that vinyl on there and to seal it?
You should see how long it takes to burn.
Great. All right. Heather.
Hi, Captain.
Yes. What would you give this episode?
I give this episode a 9.5. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I like that they sort of went lower decks with the comedy. I highly, highly, highly enjoyed this episode.
And number one.
I didn't like it as much as I was hoping to because it was more, it was cute, but it didn't, compared to the previous four, it didn't quite stack up. I liked that we got to know a little bit more about each of the characters. So in that respect, it was really good. But overall, maybe an 8.
Chief.
I'm going to go 9. I think it was a solid episode, but it's different. It's if you watch the previous episodes, you're in a certain gear and it's really vibing on that certain gear. And this episode changed gears, but it's still vibing. I'm still loving the Star Trek, the characters and what the things are going to. We're learning more about them and the crazier things that happen. I love the whole idea of Enterprise Bingo and cadets doing crazy things. And I loved Good Cop and Bad Cop and Spock getting the old Freaky Friday was just one hell of a, you wouldn't think that would be the sort of thing that happens because they can mind meld. But no, this is like on another level. I loved all that stuff. And the visuals were still amazing. The empathy Star Trek themes were still beautiful Star Trek themes. I'm all over this episode. I'll even kick it up to, a higher 9 than that. I'll say 9.5, 9.6.
For me, this is going to be one of the few times that number one and I are kind of on the same page. I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed the character building, but for some reason didn't resonate with me as hard as the last previous episodes. And I probably will watch it again and may readjust my score. And if that case, I will let everyone know, like you really want to, on the next podcast. But I had to have to give it it's the same thing. It's about an 8. Some of the humor was so subtle, and which is a good thing, but it's just it just a little stuff. It was just, yeah, I'll just have to say it's about an 8, which means it's still very enjoyable, especially more enjoyable than some of the Enterprise when we watch that series, and I can understand why they got a 55. Planet full of white people, but it was decent in that respects. Number 1, I have a question for you.
What?
Do you know what next week's episode is going to be? Do you use any indication?
Next week's episode is Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach.
That sounds like it's going to be a good episode. That's a weighty anticipation title.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going to heaven?
That's going to be...
I thought they're just working out, lifting.
Free cloud? Yeah, well, that's going to probably be the thing. Lieutenant Ferris?
Hey, Captain?
Yeah, I get a special thing coming your way that I managed to find when I was on shore leave.
Ooh, cool.
So it's going to be delivered by Federation Amazon.
Is it nicknamed Warp Drive?
It's not another statue, is it? Bryce's statue?
It's a vibrating
Who's that
statue.
what was that one female that you went on shore leave with? Apparently she still can't get over you. So it might be from her. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, cool. She was fun.
Yeah, I think that's what the statue is going to indicate. So
oh, gotcha.
We'll see. And Chief,
yo,
please don't keep sticking batteries into the warp core.
What?
You've piqued the interest of Section 31, and I'm going to read you the message here. Hold on. The application of a 9-volt battery to jumpstart the warp core engine is of great concern to us. If you manage to perfect this method, please relay all schematics and interface on how you manage to accomplish it. This may take the place of dilithium crystals for a short amount of time or to be used as emergency power. Please advise the size of the 9-volt battery and the terminals you use to interface with it. Thank you. Section 31.
Was it a Duracell or Energizer?
Yeah, they want to know.
You got someone's attention.
I'm not saying it's something you do every day. That's for sure.
Yeah, but apparently they want to know. So there's that. And also with you, number 1, apparently they heard how you streamlined our computer systems, and you have an appointment, I think, next day. I got to look on the calendar. I sent it over to you as an invite. You're going to be teaching a class to the new engineers coming up at the Dyson Institute. So make sure you wear your best Skant uniform.
Why am I going to be
vacuum company or the computer?
I know. I'm like, why am I going to be teaching people about
people.
vacuums?
No, you speak Nathan. Shut up.
He's saying your computer programming sucks, and they want to know how to do it.
The Daystrom Institute. Okay, so you got to go to San Francisco.
I thought they're in Okinawa now.
Patrick really likes vacuums. That's what I got out of that.
Okay. What, you don't want to go? Do you want me to send your regrets that you can't make it to the Daystrom? Apparently, they're going to treat you like a VIP.
Ooh.
Oh, as they should.
So, yes or no?
Sure.
No, Dot. VIP does not stand for very insensitive prick. He's not like that. What do you mean he didn't want to take the food? Well, that's between you and him. What do you mean you're scared? He'll reprogram you to like him again. Just go. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another show. We really appreciate, seriously, we do appreciate our listeners. We've noticed we've gained a pretty loyal following over the years, and thank you. Also, thank you to our loyal Patreon guests. I really enjoy the fact that we have such loyal Patreon people as well. Remember, everything you've heard about that you want to take a look at is going to be included in the show notes. And you can find the show notes on starfleetunderground.com. Really easy to remember, starfleetunderground.com. Want to send us email, you can at thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. We are now better secured for your protection. So we do have our HTTPS.
We wear condoms.
Yes, we do.
Body condoms.
And also, if you're sending any hot dogs to my science officer or my number 1, we have a filter now. No hot dogs allowed.
Yep.
So thank you, everybody. And remember, just don't have... Oh, thanks, Doc. There's going to be a special report. I'm actually going to be slingshotting back to go to the Endeavor. I'll be sending pictures we can put up on the site so you'll be able to see what the old style shuttlecrafts used to look like. So thanks for that. And please remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so. No, Dot, I'm not wearing a Skant. I never wear a Skant. Ask number one. My legs are horrible.
He scantly wears scants.
Wear the scant.
I'm not gonna wear what? What do you mean the shuttlecrafters are coming? That was a bingo that I'm really taking the ship. When is bingo season fucking over? I'm getting tired of this. All right. Okay. Thank you. Oh, fuck. You didn't take away this whoopee cushion? God damn it. Out of the light is still... Shit.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.